Nobody there.
Nobody there.
Nobody there.
Okay, we got something there. What is that? What is that? That we would hear female voices up in this area. When you mentioned the female presence.
Hi everyone, I'm Victoria Main. Welcome to another episode of Twin Forts Paranormal. I'm here with the TPP gang, Rick, Terry, and Harley. Steve is on vacation somewhere warm, and we hate him.
Yep.
So we're going to talk today about you guys' investigation out at the old Morgan Park High School. Mm-hmm. So who wants to lead into this?
I'll let Harley tell you about some of the experiences that they had.
Okay,
You know, and
yeah,
why
how
they
did you
call
get
us,
called
yeah.
into this?
Well, Rick had, as far as getting called into it, that should be Rick's part there, because he was the one that actually got notified by and they were actually prom king and queen, and the caretakers of the school once it was closed.
Yeah, they had the key for the building.
Okay.
Truly dedicated to that school, and it was amazing. But there were some things that were going on as far as for lights coming on. There'd be a door that was open on the third floor that they locked, and it was locked from the inside, and there's no way to open it from that one particular point. There's a number of strange things that were going on that they were aware about, and that's when they got a hold of Rick.
Yeah. And two of the main areas were the library and the auditorium, you know, and along with it was like a maintenance room. Mm-hmm. That also they experienced things in there with just sounds and feelings that somebody else is there with them.
So you guys, you went out there first, and you did kind of a walkthrough.
We do our walkthrough, yeah.
Before you do the investigation.
Yes. Yep.
So this first clip that we have was actually on your walkthrough.
On the walkthrough.
That wasn't even
Just taking pictures as she's, walking us around, telling us what's been going on in each room.
And these pictures that we'll see in this first clip are in 3 different spots: in the auditorium, the kitchen, and a maintenance room.
It'd be the library.
Okay.
One's in the auditorium, then library, and then the maintenance room. And the pictures that I took, you'll see there'll be like 3 that you'll see is the same picture, but I just enlarged them so you can see what we seen. And again, with when she was in the library, and again in the maintenance room, but I only did 2 pictures on that. Same picture, but zoomed in.
Okay. All right, well, let's take a look at that first clip and see what we got.
It's actually down by that window right there.
A big old orb.
Yeah, and then I zoom in even more.
Just huge.
And you get this ring that's around it. Along with her down in the library, it's next to her. Zoom in. There's even a little something on top.
Yeah, looks like a little mist up there in the upper
And then when you zoom in again, that one has a ring, which is interesting. Now this one doesn't have the ring. It's just the light.
And this is the maintenance
room. And that's what that looked like zoomed in.
That was kind of going on the move too.
Yep.
What's amazing about these orbs is the fact is, if you look at them, if you want to say, oh, it's just a bug. Well, if it was a bug, it had to be the size of a freaking South American bat. They're huge. So,
Well, and these orbs, can you see those with your naked eye?
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you can.
It's amazing is that when you walk down the hallways, I was videotaping some stuff there, and I would see something. It felt like I could see something in the corner of the eye, so I'd take my camera and I'd be taping it, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And when I go play it back, here's this orb. It comes down, and it's like a ball getting rolled down the corner of the hallway all the way down, and disappears. So we had some really interesting things going on there, and
Some people can think dust too will do it, and dust does. There's
Well,
no
it does.
question about it. I mean, you can watch dust and think it's an orb, but dust has its own thing too. The way it moves and just, it's
Yeah, well,
dust. And there's normally a bunch of them.
Yeah, and I've seen dust on
Yeah.
camera and what it looks like, and even with the light, when the light catches it, it looks entirely different than these orbs, and we'll see in some of these clips that you've got, that these orbs move in such a slow and deliberate fashion that you would not confuse it for dust.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
which is very random, and like you say, there's lots of when there's dust, there's lots of dust.
Yes.
So you see a number of small things moving rapidly and randomly, and kind of
But when you have a room and you got your cameras going and you don't have that going on,
Right.
and all of a sudden here comes something. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, one speck of dust? I don't think so.
Well, like Harley said, it would have to be the world's largest
Yeah.
speck of dust. I mean,
Well, we've got the thing about it. We've got some of these orbs. We can't show everything we got. I don't have anything here that I've got to show. But the idea is that there's so many that we wouldn't have time. Where we got one that's coming on a wall and just slowly coming around and watching it, on when I played it back, and all of a sudden it just turns right around and disappears into a concrete column. How do you explain that?
Or you'll have some that will come across. I mean, we had one incident where she was in one of the rooms on a different investigation, but this orb came up and then just stopped above her and just hovered there for a while, and then took off. So I mean, when you got movements like that I don't believe
that's
is
not
dust.
behaving like dust.
No.
And this next one now we're gonna see this orb. This is the library.
This was taken in the library. Bob was this particular picture though was taken during our investigation.
Right now you're in the actual investigation.
Yes, and Bob, he's our skeptic.
He is probably
big time skeptic.
Yeah, the most skeptical person that I know.
So when things happen with him and he can't explain it, that's when I love it the most because okay, Bob, explain that to me. But what in this particular picture that he took, he was using his phone, and you take the picture part, it gives you this few seconds of light. It's like a pre-flash.
Yep.
And while it's doing that, he's watching this thing go across his screen. And then it took the picture and got it. And he's like, okay, I don't believe that was dust, but I don't know what that is. And I said, well, yeah, I think you got something there.
Yeah.
So it looks like it'd be a white slimer.
Yeah,
It's got a.
It's not even round. It's like a blobby thing.
It's got a shape to it a little bit. Well, let's go ahead and roll that second clip there and take a peek.
Right on the right-hand side in that dark, you'll see that blob. That's what he's seeing go across the screen of his phone.
Just where that, I can see it there. Yeah. So he saw that with his own eyes on his phone,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, because the room was totally dark.
Right.
So the only light he had is when he was looking at his phone, and he was watching that thing go across before the actual flash took the picture.
Yeah.
That he had that pre-light that he gives or whatever.
So
he was watching it.
Did Bob come up with any explanation for that?
He
He said he couldn't explain that. He says, as much as I'd like to, he says, I really don't have anything on it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple other times with Bob. I mean, some really good ones that I don't know if it, I wouldn't say freaked him out, but he was like, okay, I heard that. I really, really heard that.
When you go on an investigation and Bob's coming along, I tell you, it's a real trip. It really is. It's fun. I look forward to it when he breaks away and is able to go because I like to watch and see what's going to happen next.
Oh yeah, we'll have something happen, and he'll spend 20 minutes. Wait a minute, and he'll try whatever he can to make that happen again.
Yeah, try to
Debunk it, recreate it, whatever. And I just like it when he can't. But if he can, great.
Yeah. You
And
got to try to debunk
about.
stuff
Yes,
because
that's the first thing you want to do anyway.
Yeah. Okay, now this one coming up is my favorite. This is a great one. This is the one that happens on the stage in the auditorium, and this one is so strange. Well, there's actually a couple of orbs in this one, but the movement of this one in particular is so bizarre that it sort of defies explanation.
I got my own explanation that I feel it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. If you watch this is the one where it's going around the stage.
Yeah.
It's like a procession at a graduation, where you can see where the movement is going around the edge of the stage and stuff. It's like to me it was like graduation day in high school.
Oh, that's interesting because we'll go ahead and show you, but it does kind of cross and then go back. So
And these were taken from stationary cameras that we had running. And you can see people leaving on the left side of that screen. Everyone, and there came, it's coming across the
Now
stage.
watch this as it's coming from the right to the left. It's like footsteps.
And then it turns.
It is sort of pulsing too. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is just so bizarre. It's so slow and so deliberate.
And then it, right there in this area here, it turns around and heads back. There's
And then
something
the
that
other one,
popped up. Yep.
yeah.
Now watch it. It's actually moving across the other side. Okay, now it's going the other direction.
You can see it coming
Mhm,
back
right
on the
there.
bottom there.
And then it's going to shoot up to the balcony.
Yeah. And that is just so freaking awesome.
That is really wild.
Love that school. I just love the investigation when we were there. It was just so amazing to see the outcome of it. It was really fantastic to catch these with the stationary camera on that stage. I mean, that's like gold to me.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that movement is so, you know, deliberate. And so, I mean, what is that? I mean, and then that other orb that comes shooting out of the orchestra pit and goes, I don't know if they have a pit there, but
There was underneath. There was
where the pit would be. It goes straight up. I mean, it's, so the school's been torn down now, correct?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they
too bad.
they wanted it investigated before they knew it was going to go down. We actually did 2 investigations there. The original one we did, and the second one, they had a bunch of their friends from that school that went to that school. We pretty much let them do the investigation. We just let them use our equipment and walked around with them, and they had a good time. And they actually got some stuff too.
Interesting. And, you know, they're having a little mini reunion and
Yes, it
walking
was
through the school.
pretty much what it was. Yeah.
Okay, now let's, the next clip we're going to see is up in the auditorium balcony.
Yes. Yeah. This one here again, another stationary camera that was set up there, and what's amazing to me on this one is just how bright this one is, and it went slow. You know, you'll see. It's a good.
Was this something you could see with your own eye?
It maybe, but there's nobody in that room.
Oh, the camera's in the room alone.
Yes,
Okay.
just a stationary camera.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and play number 4 there in the balcony.
There it comes. And it just goes right into the wall.
Yeah, I mean,
That's so cool.
yeah. Well, and you know, at the rate that it's moving, there's no way that could be an insect or something, because that's not how insects move.
Just by judging the distance and looking down below at it and the size of it. Now, if you were, 30 feet closer, I mean, something that looks this big from the distance away probably was about this big.
Right.
I mean, it just the distance and the travel and the size at that particular point. That was like the one there, that big one that was taken in the picture. It's huge. Mm-hmm. So if you were right up on it, it'd be a pretty good size orb.
Yeah. You know, I've never seen an orb with my own eyes. I have seen them appear in pictures when we took pictures, but I've never seen one with my own eyes.
Well, I've known people who have. You have.
I have, but it's just off.
Another
peripheral,
case
yeah.
we did, a lady in this home, she talked about one that few people were outside, were on their fire pit, and they all seen it. It was even green, and they watched it move around and go. But, I haven't seen them, but I would see, I could catch a light, something lit up on the side of me, I'd look and it'd be gone. So I mean, I haven't with my own eyes yet.
That's what I get too.
I'll see something on the side, just a light, and by the time I look at it, nothing's there.
My daughter, because she sees something, she's going on the highway and she sees a blue orb in an intersection, and she'll stop, slow down, look right at it, and she can see it straight on. I'd love to get her on a team, but she does not want to go there. She's afraid that if she goes on something like this, it's going to freak her out.
Yeah.
Because she sees.
But she
and
can
hears
see
things.
stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Let me see what's coming up next here. Oh yeah, we have the CVP, and I couldn't figure out what this voice says. I mean, you can definitely hear that it sounds like a woman to
Yeah.
me saying something, but for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah, actually, almost like all these EVPs involved the girls that were out, you know, and you know, they got most of them, which was amazing. But we have an idea, you know, but this particular one, you know, like you said, you'll hear something, but the software that I was using at the time, you know, you can see where people talk. You know, it's a lot bigger on the graph thing, and these little, they're so tiny, or you don't see them at all, and you'll hear voice. And there's one in there that you don't even see it on the graph.
Doesn't even make a
Yeah.
Okay.
But it comes through.
Yeah.
You know, but it's amazing. You'll hear this. We don't know what it says.
Okay. Well,
But
let's go ahead and play that
you
first
definitely hear it.
EVP.
This one, we were using the Ovilus, and we were recording, and the Ovilus said file. And Sheridan was talking, and this is what we got. I'm not sure what it's saying, but we definitely got something here.
Why'd you say file?
Now that one you can see. It definitely makes
That one you could.
Yep.
But it's a lot smaller than when she was talking.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, I couldn't tell what it says. I mean, when we post these videos, the show video on YouTube, and we'll have to see people. You'll have to have people post on Facebook, see if anybody else can hear
what it says.
What
if
it
they
says.
figure, just make your comment below.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's take a look at our next one here. Now this one you're using an Ovilus, right? Which tell people a little bit, if you could, what that.
Well, we use an Ovilus 5, and basically what it is it generates words that it's picking up. A lot of times, it runs at random, but there's a lot of times where we've used it in question, or it's coincided with our conversation, and it's giving us words that are saying that it's identifying what we're saying, and it's paying attention. So we got
And the accuracy on some of the words that come up too, you know. I mean, you could say coincidence, but I don't believe too much in coincidence, you know, when especially even like this particular one. You know, why did it say this word
Right.
where they were?
Right.
You know.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and look at EVP, the second EVP there.
This one's pretty cool. I don't really have to say anything. It'll speak for itself. Here we go.
I remember so scary when I was last here. There was something from science. That's my science classroom right there.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding.
Is the recorder going so it picks
Yeah.
that up us saying that?
Yeah.
So we're by room 136, which is the science room, and the Ovilus just said science. And I feel a cold breeze right now too.
Me too.
What does the temperature thing say? Is it moving?
It's fluttered between 70 and 69.
And I got a creepy feeling down this hallway, so I said, let's go down here, and then it said science. That's crazy.
So
I just think that's neat too, even, you know, what they're feeling afterwards, you know, after it said science.
So the Ovilus says science,
Mm-hmm.
and then the gal who actually went to school there says, "This
That's
is the science,
science
room."
room.
They're standing right outside it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then they got what? They got really cold.
yeah, yeah. They started feeling,
Well, that's kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
yeah.
So the Ovilus, clarify for me a little bit how that is. It generating words out of white noise? Is that what it's?
Well,
So in a sense, it is, because it has dual antennas. It is taking whatever they're putting out there, and it's coming out of in their spectrum basically.
it has a dictionary. It has a numerous amount of words that are in this thing, and also, you know, spirits supposedly can manipulate that and pick the word and get it out of there. you know. what
Okay,
they're
so
saying.
spirits can sort of manipulate this noise in there and pick a word.
How can you come up with an investigation with 4 names and find out that it was a mother, father, aunt, and uncle of the owners of the home?
Yeah, we had a case that
It just
did
kicked
that.
these names out, right? You know, we go down there and we heard, you know, that Jackie was, you know, the father, but then we didn't know about the names, you know, who the other were in reference to. And the guy turned around and said, "Gee, that's my mom and dad and my aunt and uncle." And it's boom, 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 right there, 4 in a row.
Came out of the obvious.
Yeah.
Auditorium.
That's very strange.
I love it.
That would be hard to pass off as a coincidence.
Yeah,
You know, that
yeah.
randomly 4 names happen to
Random
match.
4 names would
Yeah.
be the names of the client's
Yeah,
family.
yeah, yeah. That's stretching
Mm-hmm.
coincidence a little bit. Okay, now this EVP is really hard to hear because it actually happens when the gals are talking.
Yes.
So it's very hard to hear it, but it's in there, and you can kind of hear this background sound
Yes.
when they're talking.
Oh, yes, that's the one that I was talking about. The individual that,
Well, one individual the girl that heard it, she's the one that went to that school.
Okay.
And anyways, this noise comes up, and she hears it. She even tells you what she heard, and it sounds exactly like.
Okay, well,
What
let's go
popped
ahead
up.
and play that third EVP there.
This one's interesting because the girls are walking down the hallway, and again, Sheridan hears something. And what's really cool is how she explains exactly what she heard, and we hear it also. Here it is.
This whole long hallway.
This is Governor-year-old. Governor-year-old. This is Governor-year-old. This is Governor-year-old.
Did you hear that? Yeah.
What was it? Like a,
It sounded like it was like, ooh.
yeah, like a little girl. Was that you? So did you just make a noise?
It came from like right there.
And again, that was the girls that were there.
It is hard to hear, but you can hear when they're talking that there's that sound behind it. It's like a
Yeah.
little woo behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So you did hear it, but and she heard it, which is interesting.
Yeah. And the Jamie that was with her, Jamie didn't hear it though,
Okay.
but Sheridan did.
Well, and that's weird that's interesting when that happens because there are sounds and stuff that one person will say, "I heard this," but another person didn't hear it.
Yeah.
You know, which is sort of interesting. So it's like,
And, I mean, there was another one I had. It's not here, but again, it was with Jamie and Sheridan, and they're walking, and you clearly hear 2 knocks. Okay, and then time goes on. You know, just right after that, Sheridan, you hear those like knocks? Jamie didn't hear them. Again, Jamie didn't hear this, and then she goes, it sounded like this. She went to the wall and knocked, and you know, her knocks were knocks, but these knocks, they were there. You know, it's another time where one person heard it.
well, that
another
sort
one
of
didn't.
makes you wonder if there's not, you know, sort of a message for a specific,
Person,
that a person's
Maybe.
supposed to hear. You know,
Yeah.
maybe there's for whatever reason,
you know.
you know, that person was supposed to hear that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, this last EVP is really funny because there's like a change in it's 2 words,
Yeah.
but it's like there's just an attitude that comes through on this that I found pretty funny.
Again, this is Sheridan asking the question. She asked something like, "Can you tell me your name?" or something like that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play that last one.
I'm not sure what room the girls are in, but they do get a response here also. Listen to this.
Can you tell us your name?
Clearly, like you said, no,
No
way.
Yeah,
You know,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Can you tell us your name? No way. Okay, then I guess that's a no.
yeah.
So you guys had a lot of stuff happened out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a shame that the building's not there anymore, but You also had something happen with one of your investigators that I wanted to get to a little bit.
Yeah, I'll let Harley talk about that.
Well, Sammy, she's quite sensitive. She picks up on a lot of things that happen in a number of our investigations that were verified. In this particular case, she came along, was her first investigation with us. And she sat down in the middle of the floor in the library, and she dropped her arms down to her sides, and she just
Opened
opened
herself
herself up 100% to what was going on in there. And pretty soon she was just overcome. She was totally taken over. She was shaking and crying, and she was a wreck. And when we tried to pull her up and pick her up and move her, she just said like she wasn't coming along with us. And finally, she had come out. We talked her out, and we were afraid that at that particular time, the way things are going, that we'd kind of lost her.
Yeah, I was a little upset. I appreciate her help and what she does for us, but when she opened herself that much and it was so hard for us to get her out of it, that was scary, and that's just something that we told her, you got to control this now. And after that, I mean, she's been really good. She knows how to open and get out right away.
We were worried. Afterward, we just discussed for some time that she's got to get this straightened out before we could use her again. Make sure that she knows she can't go that far. Because what we're gonna do? Go back and tell her grandfather that she's in the hospital because of what reason?
Yeah, yeah.
And you don't want to mess with her grandfather.
And that was in that school, and that was in that library.
Yeah.
We had a lot of things going on around that library, even the entrance of the library. We had these sensors up, and he had, I don't know, would you have 6 or 7 of them?
6 sensors, yeah.
And one would go off, and Harley would go up there with the meter, and the meters are going. Then all of a sudden that one went off. Then the next one would go on, like just crisscrossed down the room.
And it would just walk away from you.
Yeah.
Basically.
And the energy just in that entrance area with the meters was amazing. I've never seen things read that high.
Yeah.
And we checked for electrical. There was actually no plugins in this little entranceway, and we couldn't figure out what would cause that. But the library and the auditorium were the hot spots, in that building. And we also had where that door would always unlock by itself too. I actually crawled up into this thing, and it's just like you're above all the rooms, some sort of a maintenance area. It's only about 3 feet tall, so you got to crawl around. And yeah, it just felt really strange up there, and it takes a lot for me to, feel a little uncomfortable. And it was a little uncomfortable up there even for me.
Okay.
And it wasn't because of the space. It was just the feeling that you had up there.
Huh. So plenty of strange things going on at Morgan Park High School.
Yeah.
So when you guys post the link to the YouTube video later on your Facebook page, it might be interesting to have people who went to Morgan Park High School, share their experiences on your page.
Oh, that'd be great.
If you had an experience at Morgan Park,
fantastic.
please go to the Twin Forts Paranormal page on Facebook and tell them what happened.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it for this time. Do we know what we're doing next time?
We'll do a private home.
Okay.
Again.
It's going to be a private home. So come back and see us next time. That's it for now.